Hello and welcome in. We are back here drafting once again. So excited. I'm really pumped for this one. We got my guy, JSU, Director of Media Content over at runpuresports.com. Man's been drafting, streaming best ball literally all off season. Just got off one before hopping on with me. If you're into best ball or DFS strategy, you just need to be following JSU. Welcome in, man.
Yeah, it's good to have me, man. Appreciate you having me on. Love drafting best ball. Love talking strategy, everything like that. And we've had some fun. Back in the day, you've been in the Discord before at Run Pure Sports, so we love talking ball and football. Football never stops. I mean, who doesn't like football? Like no matter what time of the year it is, it's still cool to draft some football teams. I don't care when it is. So I'll draft football teams whenever.
Heck yeah. I'm going to go ahead and enter a BBM here. If anyone wants to hop on with us, feel free. We're going to get right into this. I know my guy JSU's been drafting over on the DK streets, and those are a little bit different. I usually like to mention that. Half PPR.
Don't worry. I got a lot of underdog drafts under my belt, so I'm seasoned.
You're well versed
on both sides.
Yeah, for sure. Been watching your stream, especially the one you just did with Sack, which was a really good one. If you guys after this stream here want to check it out, they'll have it over at the Run Pure Sports website. All right, y'all. We are drafting out of the 4th spot. JSU, who has been one of your favorite clicks in the first round?
Favorite clicks in the first round? Well, I guess it kind of depends on where I'm getting, because it's draft position, right? Like, yeah, sure. Obviously you like certain guys more than others, but I feel like the first 3 or 4 picks are pretty obvious. And if you want to rank them a little differently, you can. Like, I know some sharp guys who have Chase as the number 1 overall player.
Really?
I don't have him as the number 1 overall player, but yeah, like I know some people who do, and it's not that big of a deal in my opinion. But I have Gibbs 101. I've had Gibbs 101 the whole time. Bijan was the initial 101. I do love getting Gibbs whenever I can. Obviously now it's a little tougher because he's pretty much always going at the 1 spot, whereas some drafts before you could get him at the 2 or the 3. That very rarely happens. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. So when you ask me my favorite click, I guess it would be him because I have him, and this is different from consensus, but I have him as the 6th overall fantasy player here. So ahead of JT and Christian McCaffrey, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb. If you just look at a bunch of his numbers, and I know we're up right now. So
yeah, who do you like here? Puka, right?
I assume you're Puka. I think it's Puka.
Okay, you have Puka or JSN?
It would be Puka for me.
Okay.
I think with the JSN stuff, there's a couple things that go into it. I'm actually into the Seattle passing game. So, like, I don't want to sound like I'm down on JSN. I just feel like what's the path where JSN, like, can really recreate that year that he had? We've seen it with guys before where they have this, like, monster year, and then it just comes down a little bit. It's just natural. Like, everyone's not like CMC. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, if he plays 17 games, he is just going to consistently smash every single fantasy football season. Like, I see a world where JSN could slow down just a tad to where, like, you're not pissed off you don't have him. Remember, he was a 3rd round pick last year. That's why everyone was like, oh, you need JSN. Like, yeah, he was going in the 3rd round. So, yeah, he was a pretty damn good pick, obviously. But now he's going where he should go. I still have Puka ahead of him. Better. I trust the offense more.
Yep.
But they're close. You know what I mean? I think the chase is the real, like, the 1, 2, 3. Those are the guys that I have, like, hard stances on. I don't want to be, like, too hard stance on the next tier of guys.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I usually like to say right before my draft starts that usually these top 5 picks all fall the same way. Sometimes you see a little bit of a change up with like the Jamar Chase versus Puka. Rarely do we get Bijan over Gibbs, which we got in this draft. So when you say at the 6th spot, you like Amon Ra, it's a pretty cool, it's something different. It changes up the whole, it shakes up a little bit of the draft for sure.
And it's funny, like when you look at his, red zone stuff and everything like that. And I see Drake London at the top.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, are you a Brock Bowers guy here or Drake London?
I'm a Brock Bowers guy for sure. I like both Drake London and Brock Bowers. I pretty much have them the way you have them, like right next to each other.
Let's go Brock Bowers.
I like it. I got a lot of Brock Bowers, but both guys I'm very much into. With Drake London, it's like they don't really have that much. It's going to be a condensed offense with Tua there. They're just going to get the ball out quickly anyways. So I see a world where the target volume is there. You could make the case maybe he's a better DK pick than a UD pick, but I think he's just a pretty strong overall pick. And then Brock Bowers, the case is obvious, right? Like Brock Bowers is going to be like wide receiver 1 for that team.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I'll tell you who I usually like to click around there as well. But who do you like here? Rashee Rice, Chris Olave. I usually click Chris Olave, but I know Rashee Rice, I expect him to shoot up those boards real soon.
I'm a Rashee Rice bull in the 3rd round.
Let's get Rashee Rice.
Yeah, he's definitely the 3rd round because I agree with you. I think at some point he makes his way back in the 2nd round. So,
and typically I am all about Brock Bowers here for sure, because I think Brock Bowers would get drafted in the 1st round had he been a wide receiver. He technically is a wide receiver.
Yep.
He just has the tight end position. But when I go wide receiver, I tend to lean Jeremiah Love. Are you big on Jeremiah Love this year?
So I am not a Jeremiah Love guy, but I am also not a draft early, like the first 2 to 3 rounds. I am normally lowest on rookie wide receiver and running backs.
Okay.
Just because I feel like, and I don't know if Jeremiah Love actually fits this, because I do feel like the field has kind of corrected itself from mistakes that they've made in past years. But like, Ashton Genty, I'm into Ashton Genty this year, but like last year I wasn't drafting Ashton Genty. I wasn't drafting Marvin Harrison the year he was going at the 1-2 turn. You just look at some of these guys, and I feel like we just overvalue the new shiny like thing all the time in fantasy. And I feel like it's a perfect example with the Gentys, the Marvs, Brian Thomas Jr. Remember him going in the 1-2 or the turn right there in the 1st and 2nd round. It's like we just want things so bad. We want it to work out, and I get it in fantasy. We want to see like the big upside in these guys, but sometimes it doesn't happen in year 1. It takes more than a year, and I think that's the case with Jeremiah Love. Love the player. I just think it's going to take a year.
I think I know who we're going with here. Luther Burden?
Yeah,
or
buddy.
Colston Loveland? Who do you like here?
I mean, I love both, so you could sell me on anything. But with Bowers, let's go Burden.
Let's go Burden.
Yeah.
Well, I know I was in the chat not too long ago in one of your streams when you were on with our guy Felix Castro.
Yes.
And we were talking about who the number 1 wide receiver or the number 1 option on this Bears team. I'm a big Bears guy.
Okay.
So I truly, truly believe Colston Loveland stays that number 1 option. I love Luther Burden. I'm clicking a lot of Luther Burden here. But I just feel like one of the bull cases that you can make for him, Colston Loveland above those guys. One is I feel he's going to be over Trey McBride once the season ends. And 2, everyone's talking about the 12, 13 personnel. The Bears went out and drafted Sam Rauch, which is their 3rd tight end next to Cole Kmet. And usually in 13 personnels, right, you have a 1 wide receiver out on the field.
Yep.
Instead of trying to figure out if it's Rome Odunze or Luther Burden, I got 1 guy who's going to be on the field all. Look at, I think we got to take him here.
I mean, yeah, at this point, we just
After making a case, which is weird because usually I don't go this far out without a running back. So we have quite an interesting start here. We're gonna have to
we got some work
lean
to
a
do.
little. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, you can't go bad with a start like this, though.
No, you can't. And we got Brock Bowers and Colson Loveland, and they're gonna hold it down for in our minds with this build, right? We need these guys to be tight end 1, tight end 2, which is very possible to happen here. So I don't hate it. In reality, we hope the flex is made up of one of these two gentlemen a lot
Absolutely.
for this team to hit. And if it's not, this team's probably not winning, right? So
Exactly, yeah.
we don't have to go crazy at running back.
No.
We it's going to be a team that we probably are going to hope 2 running backs hit a lot, honestly. So, but to your point, I wanted to, because I get what you're saying, like the Colson Loveland case for him to be just the number 1 player. I think if you were to ask me, like, you know, probably 7 out of 10 times, I think if this season runs, Colson Loveland probably does end up the number 1 fantasy option for this Bears team. I think he's like super safe. But if you ask me, like, who has the biggest ceiling of anyone on the Bears, I think it's Burden. And I don't think it's close with his actual upside. I just think Colson Loveland is just so secured in his role, and it just will not change. And maybe he is Caleb's favorite target, which I think is kind of what you're also pushing towards, is like, in those 13 personnel, he's going to be a wide receiver. They're going to play Sam Roush like a blocking tight end. Cole Kmet's going to do a little bit of both. But like Colson Loveland's going to pretty much act as like a Brock Bowers type receiver.
Correct, yeah.
Because I think the Raiders are going to do the same thing with Michael Mayer, who no one wants to talk about, but like Michael Mayer's a good tight end.
Oh, yeah.
And so Michael Mayer's going to play inlined a lot, and Brock Bowers is going to move all around the field. And I think that's what Colson Loveland's going to do with Sam Roush.
Exactly.
I think Colson Loveland is going to move all around the field, and Sam Roush and Cole Kmet are going to play more inline, which builds to your case of Colson Loveland
being out there. Hey,
yeah,
this is strange, but we might as well just go all in.
You don't even think, bro. You just hit that button on old Caleb.
This is already starting off pretty hot, especially since this is something we were talking about. We wanted to get this bear stack, and we definitely got it here. We have Colson Loveland as our cover boy. What was that?
The Caleb haters won't like this.
No, they won't.
They won't like this at all. There's a lot of them out there.
And we did.
You got to. I mean, you got to. We got a mint start right here. We've got studs at receiver.
This room is going to need like 6, 7 running backs for sure.
So here's the thing, though. We don't need to go crazy at running back because, again, like I said, we only need 2 of them to hit our lineup every week.
Wow, Brooks here at 73. That's probably the highest I've seen him go.
Yeah, that's the highest I've seen him go too.
Wow.
People love Brooks. I
do too. I have a lot of Brooks, but at that cost.
Look at Drake May still there. I know we don't need a quarterback, but damn, Drake May is that's a good pick for whoever ends up with Drake May here.
My favorite thing is when people see that you have no running back, so they just start a running back run.
Yep,
like we're nervous.
That's kind of what could happen here.
Well, we're about to come up next here, and I do have a question because I feel like running back is an interesting spot right here. I heard what I heard today about Jaylen Warren versus Rico Dowdle. Do you have any concerns about that?
So, one, I love Jaylen Warren. What did you hear of what did you hear? And then
Zane Dahini, who's been doing a great job on X, giving out information all
he's
off
going
season.
to be on my show next week.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, definitely got to check that out. He mentioned how Jaylen Warren might just be more of like that Kenny Gainwell role that he had last year, just a pass catching back. Rico Dowdle, being an early down back, first, second down. I'm a little, I don't know how to feel because I still think Rico Dowdle is a really good player, and that's no knock to Jaylen Warren, who I also think is a good player. It's just so hard to read what they're going to do over there. You know, you got
So-
Aaron Rodgers' final season, but I'm curious your thoughts.
My read is with Aaron Rodgers, I think the more valuable role is actually whoever takes the Kenny Gainwell role,
Yeah.
because that's the guy Aaron Rodgers wants out on the field more. He wants the guy who's a little better in the passing game and stuff like that. That's who he prefers out there. So to me, it actually makes the case that Jaylen Warren is actually the better click of the two. I know it doesn't make the most sense when we're talking UD and we look for touchdown upside and we kind of like more of the plotter, first and second down, who gets the rushing stuff. But I'm not sold that like Rico just owns those downs like the whole time. Anyways, I think Jaylen Warren's a pretty good runner and he's shown that.
Agreed.
And it's not, that's how they used him last year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is interesting. Maybe they just think Rico is not good in the other role and Jaylen Warren's just better. So they're like, okay, we'll use you. But the way I see it is I prefer the guy who's going to be Kenny Gainwell in this offense.
And that's fair. Yeah, no, for sure. I think the Rico Dotto thing that kind of just hits me. So I really don't think he's a bad back. And the way he played in Carolina, you know, he had, what was it, that 200-yard rushing yard game. You know, he's still capable of popping. But like you said, Aaron Rodgers not being able to throw deep anymore, he's going to want to lean in on someone with a Gainwell role.
He just doesn't want to hang out in the pocket. That's because he doesn't want to get hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the thing with Aaron Rodgers.
I like Blake Corum here. How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm a Blake Corum truther here. So you don't have to sell me on Corum. And honestly, like,
look at Dak Prescott. Yeah, Dak Prescott's still out there. Honestly, I was about to say, I thought it was Drake May.
Honestly, too, like when you go no running backs for the first, what was that, like 6 rounds? We went no running back, and then we get Warren and Blake Corum there.
Not a bad
I don't
start.
hate that to start. Like that's pretty solid for running back start here. Obviously, still got work to do, but I like it.
All right, what are we feeling here? We're coming up. I mean, I guess we could take the best values on the board versus forcing more running backs at this point. Like you said, I don't want to rush any of it if we don't feel good, but who's kind of your favorite click around here?
Yeah, I don't love this area. It's kind of an area where I end up just taking a quarterback normally. I end up taking a quarterback.
We could get Stafford for Blake Corum and Puka Nacua here.
Yeah, we could just do the Stafford thing here.
Yeah, because running backs here, we got, speaking of Kenny Gainwell and Rashad White, those are kind of rows we don't really feel too comfortable with. Yeah, let's
like
go.
I don't mind Pittman. But I don't think our team that's kind of like the need.
Yeah. Do you like the quarterback here or the wide receiver?
Well, if we go wide receiver, I think it would be Pittman, but I think the quarterback's the way I'd go.
Okay, let's go Stafford. Just because we have the stack here.
Yeah.
And we got a double stack for both, which is not a bad start.
No, it's a pretty good start, and there's still options down the line, and there's some bringbacks too.
Yeah.
With these two teams here, you know, you can get Tesla down the line. We don't need Laporta, so we don't have to go there. And then the Tampa side, we can get some Tampa Bay to go with our Stafford stuff for week 17. So I was thinking like maybe we could do Godwin and push Stafford. But then I was
I've seen drop, but I doubt he would have made it to us. I feel like the quarterback run lately has been going a lot quicker, especially on DraftKings, which I know you were drafting. DraftKings, you got to get your quarterbacks early.
Yeah,
if not, you're going to be stuck.
It's bad. Love the corn pick. Yeah, I'm loving. I love the fact that you can get Blake Corum, who's probably gonna eat into a little more of the Tyron role this year, especially in the regular season. And on top of it, Matthew Stafford threw, I think it was 25 or 26 touchdowns inside the 10-yard line, which is absolutely insane. Like the nearest player to that had like 15. Yeah. So in a way, it's like but in a way, it's like that can't hold.
No, I
Like
can't. Yeah.
some of those touchdowns are going to probably end up going to running backs this year. They were trying to get Stafford the MVP, Devontae Adams.
Especially at the end of the year.
Teams started to figure out the Devontae stuff. Like, I don't know if you remember at the end of the year, Seattle started throwing I think it was a safety down right next to the cornerback and just putting two guys there to just press them at the goal line. Just
Yeah,
saying,
no, I
like,
do remember that.
we won't allow you to do this shit. Like, teams are going to start to do that.
I believe it was
Devontae.
Kobe Bryant who the Bears actually just signed too.
Good signing, by the way.
I think it was that safety.
That was a good signing, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, no, I think I could see Blake Corum and Kyron, for that matter, getting a bump in the touchdown department this year. Matthew Stafford's probably not going to do what he did last year, just because they're going to be up.
Yeah. Now we're coming up here. I've heard your case on Aaron Jones. I know you're not too fond of that pick right there, especially on Underdog. I feel it's a little bit different in reverse. I kind of like Aaron Jones more over there. I'm into JCM here.
Okay.
Little Bill Krosky Merritt.
Give me the JCM sell as we click them here. What's the sell?
I just feel, well, one, Rachaad White's ADP price has just shot up so much. And I feel that's just a guy that we typically every year in fantasy complain about because he's not naturally a good runner between the tackles. He's more of a pass catching back. And I just feel that when it's all said and done, Rachaad White's going to have a decent role on this team because of his relationship with Jaden Daniels and the fact that he can catch out of the backfield. But Krosky Merritt was actually a pretty solid running back last year. I just think that a lot of things didn't hit in his favor. And I think that we're going to get a lot of early downs from him. I think they want to lean in more on him. It's really his job to lose. So if we're hearing from training camp in the next week or two, once that all gets started, that he's doing well, he's going to shoot up because then there's a little more guaranteed on what he's going to do. I think overall, I think just Rachaad White has a solidified role. I think Krosky Merritt has a chance to be the RB1 on this team.
Yeah, that makes some sense. I do agree with you on your point about Rachaad White just having his role. So, like, you know, obviously that leaves the role for JCM or Allen, and JCM definitely has like the inside track. Just because
quickly here, I hate to interrupt you. We got 10 seconds here. What's the click here? I don't like tight end right now since we're doing really good. Stephon Diggs over these guys is kind of where I'm at. I don't know where you're at.
I'd be Coker or Diggs. So I'm cool with Diggs. I want to get more Diggs. So
he's going to shoot up for sure.
Another guy that's definitely going to shoot. And I think, you know, Washington is a destination. We got JCM. Like, Washington's definitely a destination I could see Diggs kind of landing with
the Ayuk situation now.
Right. But the JCM stuff, like, I think at the end of the day, he's going to look like either one of the best clicks on the board or one of the worst clicks. Yeah. And I know this seems like a cop-out answer, but it's kind of all up to him. He's going to get the first shot at it. They're going to give him the opportunity probably to win that role like you were talking about. But they will go away from him quickly if he's not doing well or if he's fumbling or whatever. They'll give other guys a chance. They showed it last year. Remember, it's not like he's a, like a high draft capital type of guy.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And neither is Katron Allen, but they did still draft Katron Allen. I do think, though, it's a spot where you could take both JCM and Katron Allen and just say, hey,
make a bet there.
Maybe just make a bet like one of these guys is the RB1. Rachaad White keeps the passing down stuff, but one of these two guys does it. So I don't hate the idea of going with both of them.
And we could do it with the way our roster construction is gearing up. Plus, you're getting Katron Allen at the very end of drafts. So it doesn't feel like you're losing much there. You don't need much. But like you said, if that were to happen, then we kind of got our insurance. You know, it's kind of the whole handcuff thing when we're drafting Saquon and then we're drafting Tank Bigsby. Something happens to Saquon, we have Tank ready to go.
Yep, exactly. So you get that. And like you said, you don't have to spend a lot of draft capital for the Katron. the K-Tron pick there. So I like it. It definitely fits our team here. But is there any running backs left?
I got another guy you're not too fond of. Been listening to your streams a lot. Woody Marks here. I just don't. I know Chris Rodriguez drops a lot, but
he fits
injury,
Underdog.
huh?
He fits Underdog scoring
He
really
does.
well.
His injury just scares
And they
me.
love
But
him.
where he's getting dropped, or his ADP right now, if he's on the board, I think he's the right pick.
I think he's the right pick too if he's on the board. And I do think he's a better pick than Woody Marks, because I think the bull case for Woody Marks is I don't think he eats into the goal line stuff, which
Correct.
hurts him in Underdog. I think the bull case is he's more of a DK pick. He has a ton of passing work and really eats into the passing volume, and maybe gets a few carries too on top of it. But the passing is where he gets it done there, because we saw him like last year, like he was just really bad as a runner.
Inefficient. Very inefficient.
And they gave him
the volume,
all the opportunity to be really good. And dude, they love David Montgomery. Like he's a player that every coach like loves. For whatever reason, he just does everything the right way. So my belief is they're going to give David Montgomery like a true workhorse role, which is why I don't like Woody.
What do we like here? I think wide receiver kind of fits a little bit more here.
McMillan fits our team.
Yeah.
With the Rams week
Tampa
17 stuff.
Let's go with McMillan.
What do you think of the Buccaneers passing situation?
I'm so torn with it. I mean, we'll see how they utilize Emeka Egbuka this year. But you got Jalen McMillan, you got the young rookie Ted Hurst, who we're hearing might be playing more of that X receiver. They still got Tez Johnson, who I thought would come in and still play pretty well, you know what I mean, for spike week purposes. Then they also, if I'm not mistaken, they still have Sterling Shepard, right? Baker's boy from Oklahoma.
Do they still have him? You might be right.
So, but like, I mean, it's just a messy. It's very messy over there. I don't know how I feel necessarily about it. I don't mind Baker where we're getting him. As far as the stacks goes, I kind of just lean in on the guys later on in the draft, like the McMillans, like the Ted Hurst, occasionally some Cade Otton. I'm not too fond of Cade Otton, but when you need room in that tight end room, you kind of put him in there.
That's the way I've been drafting it a lot too, is more the later guys like the McMillans and the Ted Hurst. But
I didn't mention Chris Godwin, my fault. Yeah, and Godwin is more of like you're betting on, obviously if he's healthy. We've seen how good of a wide receiver he's been, but man, he's been banged up a while. I do select a lot of Chris Godwin right around the area you grab him, but I feel a lot better when I do get Baker along with him.
Me too. I think the one interesting spot is Emeka Egbuka goes so high, and it's like, what do you do?
Too high.
It feels very high. And then you get the comments like Zach Robinson. He's like, he's going to be used as the Z, and he's going to be used like Cooper Kupp. And everyone's like, whoa, wait a second. We're going to get Emeka Egbuka, Cooper Kupp. And it's like, I don't know if we're going to get that exactly.
Yeah.
But I get what he's saying. Or they're going to try to, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't buy into it, but I don't have a ton of him. Maybe it's because I'm a little more bullish on McMillan though.
Okay.
Than the field. And
I like McMillan. McMillan coming out of Washington had a really good profile as well.
Yep.
As a wide receiver, I really liked them out there. All right, we're back on the board right now. I kind of like Algier. I like Tesla, how we were talking about for our correlation here.
I think we go Algier, and then we hope that Tesla is there on the bring back.
If not, my guy Adonai Mitchell, who I believe is your guy too, right?
I like AD Mitchell. Yep.
I love AD Mitchell. We can talk about AD Mitchell. Hopefully we get him right around here if Tesla's gone. I think Tesla makes the most sense, obviously, for correlation purposes.
Definitely. People don't like Tesla, but he just makes
efficient.
plays.
Speaking of efficient, it seems
Yeah.
like he'll get 3 catches, and it's the most. It's like the best for fantasy purposes, and he'll absolutely catch a touchdown on one of those.
Yeah,
All right,
and
we did get Tesla.
we did get him there. So
Let's take him. Makes
I
too much
mean,
sense here. I'm liking this team.
yeah, this team's shaking out pretty well, honestly, for a team where we didn't go running back until
Like
was
6
around
rounds,
7
right?
or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the guys that kind of fell to us, I feel like just fit honestly the way you kind of want for UD if you're going with like the 0 RB approach here. I think it's a 6 running back team.
Felix has an AD Mitchell tattoo.
Do you?
I talk about AD Mitchell. No, I do not. I talk about AD Mitchell. I had so much AD Mitchell last season. And to be fair, it worked out because we were drafting him in the 18th round.
Yeah, no, I mean,
he paid off his price easily.
It worked out. It was just like, it probably should have been better than what it even was,
Correct.
too, which
Yeah,
is the annoying part of AD Mitchell. And I feel like that's why people are annoyed with AD Mitchell, and he's maybe not going even higher than he should be, is because people are like fed up with like AD Mitchell. But
oh my gosh, Ferguson, 15. Yeah. Terrence Ferguson. I love Terrence Ferguson, but round 15, we are shooting.
Terrence Ferguson slappies. I am one of these slappies too. We are out in full force, and we are just drafting Terrence Ferguson whenever we feel necessary here. So 15 is pretty interesting, though. I mean,
that is.
I like my 17th, 18th round Terrence.
Oh, for sure, and still above some guys like Greg Dulcich is tight end 1. Gunnar Helm expected to be tight end 1 on their team.
Yeah, but you got to remember, bad team. Yeah. Terrence Ferguson's at least on
a high-powered offense
in football.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Or best offense in football, I guess. No, probably best team in football. I mean,
yeah, I think it's fair. I mean, especially with all the moves they made, they just got Myles Garrett. I think they are the best overall team.
I'm so annoyed that they wasted that first-round pick on Ty Simpson. I'm so annoyed by that. As a Bears fan, though, you gotta love that they wasted a first-round pick on Ty fucking Simpson.
I love it.
No one else could help us. Okay, you guys couldn't use the friggin' offensive lineman or a Makai Lemon or a Kenyon. Come on, what are we talking about here?
Offensive lineman would have been perfect for them.
Why not too? Like, just get some depth. Even if they weren't an actual starter this year, which I highly doubt. Like, okay, you have depth. You know what I mean? Guys are going to get banged up during the season. You're going to use them.
All right, I got someone here. Cooper Kupp is going way too high in my opinion. There's a guy I like here.
I hate drafting Cooper Kupp. It drives me
you like Jadon Blue? Can I interest you on some Jadon Blue?
You can interest me on Jadon Blue.
Given the guys that are here,
because I would be drafting a tight end, but we don't need a tight end.
No, we don't.
Yeah, sold.
Yeah,
it would be him or Ray Davis. So
yeah, and he's starting to shoot up too in drafts.
Yeah,
Jadon Blue is. And I've been trying to get more bags of him because I really do believe he's going to be RB2, but more importantly, he's going to have a role in this offense. So as a pass catching back, like they're going to utilize him.
What's like the bullish outlook role though? Like what is the bull case for Jadon Blue if Javonte is healthy? Because obviously if he's not healthy, then
I just think that they're going to utilize him more as a receiver. I think you can put him out there and put him out wide, which is pretty cool and something that they did out in Texas as well when Jadon Blue was over there. So I feel like the fact that he has that talent, they're going to use it. I think they drafted him with the idea of being able to do those kind of things as well. I don't think they were ever planning to make him, I don't think he has the profile to be like an RB1. I think by default, he'll be your RB2. But in reality, I think he's going to be splitting work. I mean, we don't know if it's Phil Maffei or who else is in that back. Is it Malik Davis still over there?
Yeah, it's like Maffa, Davis. Yeah.
Yeah. Zachariah Branch, I don't mind here. I feel like he's dropped a little bit. And
I like Zachariah Branch. I mean,
yeah, I didn't expect him to be here.
We don't need someone like him. Ted Hurst is there too.
Yeah.
He fits our team. Yeah, we can go Zachariah Branch.
I figured since we already had Jalen McMillan,
Yeah.
kind of wanted to take. And, with that whole wide receiver room, felt like Zachariah Branch kind of fit.
So what do we got here? So we got 2 quarterbacks, 6 running backs.
Yep. 7 wide receivers, and then the 2 tight ends, which were, we can leave the tight end position alone, in my opinion. We can probably go another quarterback.
We could go another quarterback. I mean, you could, if Colby Parkinson was there in the last round, you could take him on a team like this.
To stack?
Just for the stack, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you see a better 18th round pick or 17th round pick.
Or I got another guy for you who I believe you've talked about too, but as a Bears fan, I'm really excited to see little Xavier Thomas.
Little Xavier. Yeah, you don't have
on
to
this team.
Xavier.
I mean, look at the kind of guys we have here too.
I think the way they're gonna deploy this 12 and 13 personnel, it kind of fits for Luther Burden and Xavier Thomas.
Oh, for sure.
They're going to have some big splash plays, both these guys. Xavier might be similar to Luther, where like it took a while for him to actually like get a role on the field.
Yeah.
But when he does, he just makes some splash plays to where they're like, okay, we got to get this kid maybe a little more involved. You know what I mean? And then you never know how a season kind of shakes up. And I think Xavier Thomas with Ben Johnson, you can kind of see what Ben Johnson's doing, right? He wants like he the type of receivers he's drafting, like you can just kind of tell, like just like big playability. Just give me those guys, and then you got like your consistency with your tight ends, but give me the receivers with big playability.
Oh yeah. I think that for sure, especially they drafted him in the 3rd round, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of people weren't too fond of it. And I'm like, when a guy like Ben Johnson, Kyle Shanahan, people like that. Bro. What was that?
Follow the leader.
Yeah, exactly. Those offensive masterminds, you kind of just got to let them do their thing, man.
Like they have a plan. Like in their head, they have a plan. Like this guy is not going to be, as long as he's not like a fuck up. Like I think like Jadon Blue, you were talking about him. Like clearly they had a plan for him last year, but he was just like kind of a fuck up to where they were like, all right, you're inactive, bro. You don't even have a, the
Louis Vuitton spikes and all that.
Yeah, whatever. Like, but if they're not doing that bullshit and they're like playing and they're not getting banged up, it makes sense. You know what I mean? Remember too, Luther Burden was banged up in preseason, like in the training camp and stuff. And Ben Johnson was kind of not happy. Like he's got to like, get healthy first, and then we'll like, so he was more slow rolled than I think they would have even done it if he hadn't missed that time, because it's a very complicated system. That's like the other thing with Ben Johnson. It's not an easy system to kind of get down. So that's the other part with Xavier. But I do think he's going to be great for best ball because you don't have to worry about when to click him.
So now I love Jalen Noe here, but we got to go Xavier. All the talk that we've done to him, we got to take him here.
Love that.
I really like this draft. This draft went as good as I hoped it would.
Look at this team in the was that the 7 spot? He went like, what's that, 7 or 8 receivers at the end? Do you see that?
Oh, damn, yeah. 10. He's got 10 total wide receivers.
Damn.
Okay, you can kind of tell by his start though. 4 running backs because he went like 3 elite guys.
Okay.
But to be fair, the conversation we had about Blake Corum, this is one of the reasons why I don't like Kyron. And Kyron kind of dropped because he was picked at 42.
Yeah, I don't like Kyron in the 3rd, but in the 4th, I think you can make the case.
Oh, for sure. But I do think with how much they split that backfield, you're getting a better value at Corum.
100%. And the value people are starting to see the value with Blake Corum because his ADP, I mean, dude, he was going to pick 100. Yep. Now his ADP is like in the 80s, I think. Or 90. So people are starting to figure it out. And it's only going to get worse as we get into training. Like it's going to get even lower and lower. Like people are going to start to click them more and more. So some of these guys, like, you got to be ahead. And I think Blake Corum's one of those guys. I think Josh Downs is one of those guys. Got to be ahead of the field, because once they start to see it, their ADP is going to go through the roof.
Oh, for sure. Here, let's review this team before we jump on to another BBM. We have quarterback Caleb Williams, Matthew Stafford. I'll be honest, I could have used another quarterback here. Felt like it might have used it, but we're good because of the type of quarterbacks we have here.
Bro.
Yeah.
Studs.
And then we have Jalen Warren, Blake Corum, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Chris Rodriguez, Tyler Algier, Jadon Blue. I think we kind of bounced back for waiting till the 7th round to pick up running backs. At wide receiver, we got Puka, Rashee Rice, Luther Burden, Stephon Diggs, Jalen McMillan, Tesla, Branch, and Xavier Thomas. And then at tight end, we got our bully tight ends, 2 elite tight ends, Brock Bauer and Colston Loveland. Can't go wrong with either one. I expect, especially given kind of the depth at wide receiver and running back, there's a good chance that our flex spot's going to be covered by these 2 guys.
I mean, that's what we need, honestly, with this team, is we need those guys to kind of just smash fantasy football, which can happen. I do love how the draft did shake out. I guess the hole you could poke is that maybe our Bs just, aren't consistent enough to get us kind of through.
Yeah.
But man, if we somehow get Bill being RB1 in Washington, and we somehow get Blake Corum in a situation where it's just a true full split with Kyron, or maybe even, I mean, you never know what happens in a season. Maybe, even Kyron goes down and Blake Corum takes over the RB1 role, so like there's ways where that team can shake out. Tyler Algier's the goal line back for, the Cardinals, stuff like that. Like, so there's ways where that team can shake out, and the running backs can do enough to get us there. So
to hold it down. And
that Bears double stack. I mean, we got 2 good double stacks with the Rams and the Bears, and got some nice bringbacks with
week 17.
Week 17. Yeah. Yep. That felt nice.
We got our Tampa Bay, and then we got our Detroit.
Yep, with Tesla. Back. Yeah.
It is nice.
I wish there was a way to get some better, like, because the problem with like teams like Detroit is when you pick certain guys at certain spots, it's hard to get others with them. So like it's really hard to get, like, you can never get Gibson, Amon-Ra. It's really hard to get like J-Mo, I feel like, with Amon-Ra, unless you reach for J-Mo. With Luther Burden and Colston Loveland. So, because I do think that game is probably going to smash in week 17. I think it's one of the better games. I think the Rams game is probably one of the better games in week 17. So I think we got 2 good targets for that week 17 if that team can get there.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, we are drafting another BBM here, and we are drafting from the 10th spot. Do you have a favorite spot you like to draft out of?
Yeah, so I like to be on the ends.
Me too. Yep.
Personally, I think the ends give you the best shot at like some unique combos too, because some drafts just fall weird. You know what I mean? There's like some drafts where I'll get like CeeDee Lamb falling to me at the turn, like at the 12 spot, and then I can get like Ashton Genty with CeeDee Lamb, or there was one. Combo. Yeah, or there was one team I had where I got JT and CeeDee Lamb, and I was like, oh man,
that's unique. Yeah, that doesn't seem like you see that often.
No, like I've never seen it before, and I've done over 500 drafts. You know what I mean? Like I've done a shitload of drafting, so I've never there's certain combos like you sometimes can get that you very rarely see, and you only get them at the turns.
Yeah.
Mainly.
I've done, to try to shake things up, I've done Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers, just to kind of give me
that a little bit.
Little different setup there. Like, but usually I like to see who drops. Yeah, at the turn. I've brought AJ Brown up a little bit just to kind of add him with other correlations, in there. I have a thing that I like to do. Most people like the week 15 through 17 correlations, and rightfully so. I utilize that, especially on BBMs. But I like to get with my stacks, I try to lean more in the division because at the end of the day, those teams are going to play those other teams twice out of the season. So
Yeah.
that kind of helps on a week to week basis because more than likely you have stacks set up for games. So if I have here, we're on the clock here. We have Justin. I want to hear your take here. What do you like here?
I'm not like always clicking Justin Jefferson. I'm a Genty bull.
Me too.
So
I'm going to go Genty here.
yeah.
I'm right there with you. The Justin Jefferson case is, man, I don't know.
I get it with Justin
Yeah.
Jefferson. I just, man, they have so many. Like, I like Jordan Addison. They
Yep.
signed Juwan Jennings. Kyler Murray's the quarterback. Is that I assume it's got to be better than JJ McCarthy because anything
100%.
has to be better than JJ McCarthy. But what we see out of Kyler Murray, is it really fantasy friendly? I would say not really.
Yeah, because I don't feel like the rushing upside has been there like we wished it would be. All right, we're back on the clock here. My click usually is Kenneth Walker. I do like Saquon, but I'm curious your thought here.
Yeah, I have Kenneth Walker
Okay.
ahead. I have a Kenneth, Saquon, Hampton, but I think they're all really good picks on Underdog. I think Kenneth Walker though and Omari and Hampton from like a touchdown upside standpoint, their stuff is massive.
Yeah.
Like those guys could both have massive years in the touchdown department. I mean, the Chiefs were giving Kareem Hunt like 71% of the opportunities. Like
now they have
now they have an actual running back that can actually give you explosive plays with Patrick Mahomes. And the
Follow the money, right?
What?
Follow the money.
Yeah.
They paid him a lot of money too.
They paid him a lot of money
to be the guy. Reason. Oh yeah. And I also think Patrick Mahomes coming back from this injury, I think he's going to come in slowly. I've mentioned too, Eric Bieniemy coming back as the offensive coordinator. The main focal point is to get the run game going. And when you pay Kenneth Walker the amount of money that you paid him and they want to get back to running the football, Kenneth Walker just seems like a smash there in the second round.
And I think they know too, because one of the things that Patrick Mahomes and everyone has talked about with Patrick Mahomes is the effectiveness of the deep ball passing with Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. It's gone down, right? And you can tie it back to Tyreek Hill maybe a little bit. But I think at the end of the day, you can look at also the run game because it kind of ties into the play action pass. If you notice a lot of these sharp coaches, it's a lot of like the focus is the run game because the run game sets up the play action stuff, which is the big plays, right? Like the big stuff down the field. And, Ben Johnson, I think, is a great example of this. What's he do when he gets to Chicago? Like one of the first things he does is he goes and gets like 3 offensive linemen. He's like, what? Well, why is he doing that? Like he wants to get 3 offensive linemen. He wants to redo the offensive line. He wants to establish them as a run to set up the pass team. And that will help Caleb get more comfortable in the system because it's not all on Caleb, right? If you have a good running game, then like that game against Philly, that I remember last year.
Ran it all through.
They ran it right down Philly's throat. And it's like, dude, like most teams can't do that to Philly. And they just said, we'll show you guys. And they just fucking rammed it right down their throat.
All the way through, yeah. Who do we like here? We're back on the clock.
I'm a lad.
Okay.
I'm a lad guy normally.
Can I interest you in Malik Neighbors?
You can interest me in Malik Neighbors. I don't click him a ton, but like I'm okay with the click.
Let's go, lad.
So my thing with Malik is I'm cool with like 4th round Malik Neighbors. 3rd round though, I prefer others. Is kind of the way I look at it. It's the same thing with like Tet and Emeka Ibuka.
Ooh, Jalen Waddle. I love Jalen Waddle too.
And we might get either Josh Allen in the 4th round or Malik Neighbors in the 4th round
Yeah, right here.
or Ted. So
Ooh, we get both.
you get your boy Malik Neighbors in the 4th
What do you
round.
like here? Yeah, do you like wide receiver here?
I think now you can take Malik Neighbors if that's who you wanted him in the 3rd. So
Yeah, and we're getting him in the 4th.
this is where I pick Malik. This is why I push Malik Neighbors, because I know that there's at least a hive of people that, and I'm in this hive where I'm a little afraid of the injury, but
Okay.
so that can cause the fall that you get into the 4th round here. And I think in the 4th round, kind of like Jacobs, it's like, now I can stomach this a little bit more. You know what I mean? Now I can I'll take the risk in the 4th with Malik Neighbors. I don't like it as much in the 3rd, taking the risk, but in the 4th, I'll do it. What's the sell for you on the 3rd? Are you just not afraid of him being on the pup at all or anything like that?
I'm not, because I think overall, if he misses the first couple weeks, the competition that he has right now in that wide receiver room isn't much. And we're talking about a wide receiver with I mean, he is a first round pick. Like 100% a first round pick. In my opinion, he is like right here in the back end. I mean, that's where he was getting drafted. And when he is healthy, he's putting up those type of numbers.
Yeah,
So
would you put him ahead of Justin Jefferson?
Yes. Healthy?
Put him ahead of CeeDee Lamb?
See, I think he's right around there.
Okay.
Yeah, because I like CeeDee Lamb. I was talking about it the other day on my stream, and it has nothing to do. I'm in the Dallas, Fort Worth area.
Yeah.
I'm not a Dallas fan, obviously.
Obviously.
But I do believe in this team. I do think the Cowboys are good. I think the Cowboys just get so much hate because they are America's team, quote unquote. You know what I mean? So like people just hate on them. But I think they're a really good offense. I thought Schottenheimer was really good for them. I was talking about it the other day. We have CeeDee Lamb going wide receiver 6, George Pickens wide receiver 10. Like even the price on these wide receivers telling you everything you need to know. When CeeDee Lamb came back week 7 last season, they were both averaging over 15 PPR points a game. So meaning they were both eating. We know what Javonte Williams is. I like Javonte Williams, but I think Schottenheimer has leaned in a lot on Dak Prescott. And Dak Prescott, for as much hate as he gets, he's a good quarterback.
He's definitely a good fantasy quarterback for sure. And he's a solid overall quarterback too. I agree with your take on like people just hate on Dallas, but like it's every sports league. There's always that team, right? Like people just hate on, like the Dodgers right now. I'm sure a lot of people just hate on the Dodgers or the Yankees. Probably the Yankees in general. But like it's every team, it's every league. They're just the team in the league that people, because like you said, America's team, whatever. But yeah, no, they are good. I think you can make the case too, like Malik Neighbors doesn't have the George Pickens, so like all those targets are just going to him, right?
That's why I like Neighbors so much too. Yeah.
All right, I got a clear pick here, but I want to know who do you pick?
Like Tootin? I love Tootin. I still feel like wide receiver is a good spot here. I'm between Tate and Thomas. Who do you like here?
I'm a Tootin or Watson, bro. So
okay. Let me hear Watson. I'm kind of in and out on Watson.
I think Watson's actually a much better pick on Underdog with the touchdown equity and upside that you get with him. The guy just finds the end zone. Like he's just really good. They get rid of Romeo Doubs. They get rid of Dontavian Wicks. Tucker Kraft's coming back from the ACL and stuff. And you saw what a short, a limited version of what Watson's upside could be. Yeah, you can take your boy Brian
That's
Thomas.
what I was going to say. Yeah, out of these wide receivers too, I think Brian Thomas. I guess that's a perfect.
Yeah, Brian Thomas is fine for this team. But you saw what a limited upside version of Christian Watson could be.
Yeah.
And I do think with him, it's more about health than anything else. The production 100%. Is there if he's healthy. So if you just want to say to me, you know what, we saw a small sample of Christian Watson. He looked really good, but I still don't trust it. I need to see a full season. I'd be like, hey, okay, I totally understand that. But if you just look at who he's going with, I mean, Brian Thomas Jr., we just talked about all the guys that, in Dallas that they have to contend with.
Yeah.
I mean, Brian Thomas Jr., his offense is loaded. I mean, he's got a dude off the defense that comes and plays offense. That's how loaded this team is, though. They got Jacoby Myers, who's just consistency. He's always consistent. Parker Washington looks like a legitimate threat that they love. All they do is talk up Parker Washington.
For sure, yeah, it's been
Brenton Strange. They just paid out of left field. They paid him. They're like, okay, they must like Brenton Strange. They drafted a couple more tight ends. Travis Hunter is there, and they paid a premium and a half for this dude to play offense and defense. So, Christian Watson doesn't have that on his team. Like, he doesn't have to contend with that stuff. He's got Jaden Reed, who they don't even want to play like more than 50% of the time on the field for whatever reason, and he's their second best receiving weapon. Matthew Golden, who's unproven, who I think they would like to be the number 2.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens there. And then they got like Savion Williams and whoever else back there. It's like Christian Watson is him and Tucker Kraft are like the clear 2 options on that team.
On that
and it
offense,
could just
for sure.
be all of them doing it. And we know Jordan Love, he loves to throw the deep moon ball. That's what he loves doing, is throwing the moon ball. I know you hate the Packers, though. So
and to be honest, like, of course I hate the Packers, but I had a level of respect for Aaron Rodgers. As much as I hated him, I just knew how good he was, and I think that bothered me more.
That's the
not only did I hate the Packers, but I hated how good Aaron Rodgers was. That's what bugged me. I don't have that same
that with Jordan Love,
but I don't have that. Yeah, exactly. I don't have that fear with Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love is overrated. I don't think he's bad. I just think he's an overrated player. I think people the media
But do we think people overrate him, actually? Because I don't
Absolutely.
know. You think so?
Oh, man. I feel like when you tune into ESPN and all these shows, like Jordan Love, MVP favorite this upcoming season, and I feel like you get all this love from Jordan Love. And as a Bears fan, we watch so much Jordan Love, and it's like, yeah, we get the good games, but how about those bad games? It kind of reminds me, as a Bears fan, of like Rex Grossman. You had good Rex, bad Rex, like in the sense of you just didn't know what you were going to get on a week
right there. That's mean.
I keep it real. He's a better quarterback. Jordan Love is a better quarterback, but
he's a more talented He's a more talented arm, for sure.
Who do we want to go here?
It's either Warren, Kraft, or quarterback. Oh, Herbert.
I was about to click him. I just wanted to.
That's all right. Yeah, that's all right. We might still be able to get him. So
because we had Ladd.
I just thought, we have Trevor Lawrence though too, so we can get Herbert or Lawrence. So we're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just get one of those guys. Whoever you, I don't know who you prefer there, but
yeah. The whole Jordan Love thing, like, again, I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I just think the way people love on him is insane to me, because we watch so much.
I think though what's probably distorting your view too is the hate that your quarterback gets. So I think it's a lot of
so much.
I think it's a lot of that, where people are just constantly hating on your quarterback, and it's bullshit, because it's like, dude's played 2 years in the league. Like, can we give him a few years, but can we give him the Jordan Love grace before we just start like shitting on him, or give him a year or two in the system with Ben Johnson? I mean, Caleb Williams, you can say he had really bad stretches at quarterback, where he'd have like these stretches for a quarter or two where he was bad, because he did. He had a lot of games where if you go and you watch the first half and the second half, you'll be like, wait, those are two different guys out there. There was bad quarter Caleb, and then there was like amazing fourth quarter Caleb. Which quarterback is he? And I don't think it's either. I think it's somewhere in between, where it's just like, you can tell the dude's ultra talented. You can tell they're trying to coach some of the the improvisation, like, hey, dude, you don't have to just like try and, do everything on your own every single play. You know what I mean? You could just take the easy stuff, and you can tell like he's not comfortable taking the easy stuff. That's why when people watch him and they say, why can't he just make the easy throw? I'm like, because the easy throw isn't easy to him because he doesn't want to do it. You know what I mean? It's like, It's easy for us to say it. Like, it's easy for us to do stuff when we want to do things. But think about it, Felix, like, it's hard to do anything when we're like, I don't want to do that. Like, we have to like force ourselves to do it. And that's probably what Caleb feels when he's just taking the check down or just taking that easy 5-yard out. It's like, but we saw it at the end of the year. He started to do it a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, okay, if they can get him to do that a little more this year than he did at the end of the year, and he was already making some strides with that at the end of the year, this dude could be really good. And if you give me not 1 quarter of consistency, but you give me 2 or 3, now we're cooking. You can give me 1 bad quarter of Caleb Williams. I'll take the 3 good ones, and I'll live with the consequences of the 1 bad quarter.
He is, to me, as a huge Steph Curry fan, he is the Steph Curry of football. The guy remember when everyone would complain about the shots he would take, all these inefficient shots, but Steph made him efficient. Like, you couldn't question at this point, obviously in Steph's career, right? You're not going to question if he's taking a shot.
Jackson Dart's still there too.
And we have Malik Neighbors. I like that. Let's go Dart here.
Yeah, let's do Herbert and Dart. That's two good quarterbacks right there.
Yeah. But yeah, that's who he kind of reminds me of, like, in the sense of so many people want to coach these things out of certain guys, but some of these guys are just so special that this is what makes them great.
Yeah, I think the problem is, like, with that team, it was just like the way Steph goes, like the way they go. It's like Caleb, he's still in a system where he can lean on it to where they can lean on the run game a little bit more. He doesn't have to make all of the Steph Curry shots all the time. He can make them. He's shown it, right? He's shown he can do it. He just doesn't. I feel like he shouldn't have to do that all the time. Where Steph kind of had no choice but to make the difficult shots
early on,
because he had no choice.
All right, Harold Fannin is probably the one I like here. I don't like the wide receivers here.
No, he's not there. I thought Pitts was there. Yeah, Fannin's a fine click.
Yeah, and then we can start looking at some wide receivers here too, because we feel like we're a little light. Especially if, obviously, this team right now and this roster construction that we're kind of starting off with, this is basically Neighbors starting the season.
We're hoping Neighbors starting the season for sure.
And if he does, then this is not a bad start at all.
No, and listen, this is more of like a balanced start, right? Like you get Harold Fannin as your tight end 1. That's not a bad tight end 1 there where we got him. And we got the 4 running backs. You can make the case too. This is a 4 running back team, I think. To be honest,
with the talent that we have. Yep.
With the talent that we have, we could go a 5th one, but I think you can make the case for 4.
2 quarterback, 2
quarterbacks, and really load up on receiver and tight end the next few rounds, and just see if we can hit on some of these late receivers and late tight ends. So I think that's the way to approach it. What do you do with, because you obviously like the Giants a little bit with the Neighbors love, obviously. When you take Dart, are you taking anyone else with Neighbors, or do you like just the QB 1 wide receiver combo?
You know, and I'll be honest, I don't take much of Dart either. I'm not like overly in love with Dart. I think it's just more about the Neighbors bet that I like. As far as that offense goes, who knows at this point? I think the Giants as an overall team, there is some intrigue, of course, defensively speaking, their offensive line. There's some things to like. Matt Nagy joining that. I'm also a Bears fan. I saw Matt Nagy. And then Greg Roman's on his staff too, which scares me. I mean, 2 guys that, especially in fantasy, in the fantasy space, everyone despises the most.
Oh, yeah.
So running backs, that's why I'm not that high on Cam Scatterboo. as everyone else is. I prefer the Tyron Tracy later on.
Me too. I got a ton of Tracy, and I got a lot less Cam Scatterbo. My bags on Tracy are pretty hefty.
I'll be honest, right here, because we're coming up here. I love the tight ends here. I do like the wide receivers as well. I know you mentioned Coker. I like Coker. I just hate that offense. I do like Shaheed, but I'm pretty sure you're not a fan of it.
I don't mind Shaheed. If we're going wide receiver, it would be Shaheed, Coker.
Over Coker, yeah.
If we're going tight end, Likely or Andrews.
Oh, and we could probably go Likely here on the way back around to stack with Dart. I don't mind Likely, by the way. I do like.
Yeah, that's
Likely.
kind of the guy that I like from the Giants. I like the Likely or even a Theo Johnson at the very end of the draft.
Yeah.
I think it's another team where you could see Likely line up more as a wide receiver and Theo play more in line, which is where he had a lot of success last year with Dart. They seem like they had pretty good chemistry too, those two guys. So
yeah. And then the other thing is, knowing Matt Nagy as a Bears fan, Matt Nagy loves his tight ends, and they're Likely. And I think Likely is going to have a pretty solid role to start the season.
We could take Coker there.
Yeah, let's take Coker. We need to start.
Or Dallas Goedert.
I'm gonna go Coker here. I want to add a little more to the wide receiver room. I feel like tight end, there's still a good bunch down here and some late ones. I know we mentioned a few guys.
Are you a Charlie Kohler, bro?
I've heard your case on him, and I don't hate it, especially knowing Mike McDaniel. But see, that case, and I do agree with you, is one of the reasons why I'm completely out on Oronde Gadsden. I'm just out on him. Not that he's not good, but if we're looking, I mean, really, we're doing the value game here, right? So you got David Njoku and Kohler all at the very end of the draft. I'd rather go down that route than to take Gadsden in a room where there's 3 tight ends and your offensive coordinator is Mike McDaniels.
Yeah, my worry is Oronde Gadsden is Darren Waller of this team, where he doesn't play a ton, but when he plays, he's highly efficient. Yeah. And Mike McDaniel kind of schemes him up and obviously, let's be honest, Mike McDaniel has never had Justin Herbert as his quarterback. Justin Herbert is so much of an upgrade from Tua Tagovailoa. It's not even fun. It's so much of an upgrade that he is telling Herbert, I don't even need you to throw half the time, bro. I want you to work on your footwork. That's how much of an upgrade is. He's like, you don't need to throw, bro. You're gonna be fine. Just trust me. We get our timing down, because it is gonna be more of a timing, get the ball out quicker. Let these guys run after the catch. So I think that's why the footwork is so important, because it's all about the quick timing and everything. So you got to have your footwork down. Really, that's why he's switching up the feet and he's doing little things with Herbert, because it's all these windows. And Justin Herbert's got a fucking cannon.
He sure does.
If he gets the footwork down, which I'm sure he will, he's gonna crush in this offense, because he's got an absolute rifle to just fire it in there and then let these guys run after the catch. So I love the Chargers. Just as a team, I want to be invested in as much Chargers as I can.
For sure.
That's why
that's a top 3 offenses this year, right? Would you agree? Who do you have as the top 3 offenses this year? If you had to predict?
I love the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Bears. Are we talking fantasy offenses or just?
No, I just think overall.
NFL offense. Got to put the Rams up there, I think.
Sure.
So we got to put the Rams. I still think the Bears could be.
We have Gadsden here, by the way.
Yeah, Gadsden does fit. Brenton Strange is there. We have. Do you like Strange over Gadsden?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Let's do Strange, because we mentioned, we like the other 2 tight ends in the back end, and Strange just signed that deal, so he's got a better role than these other guys here. Especially with the tight ends they drafted, most of those guys are blocking tight ends. Yeah. And that's not to say they won't be on the field, but with what they paid Brenton Strange, he's going to still stay a good part of this offense for sure.
It's got to look pretty good for Brenton Strange. But yeah, no, I guess it would be the Rams, Chargers, Bears. I think you can make the case the Patriots did a lot to improve. I mean, you can argue that receiver, they were actually a little thin. And what Drake May did with that receiving core was actually pretty
Very
impressive.
impressive. Yeah.
Keyshawn Booty was their number 2. Stephon Diggs was their number 1. Stephon Diggs still hasn't signed with a team yet. Keyshawn Booty's now their number 3. Demario Douglas was playing some snaps. Kyle Williams.
Who do we want here? Sorry to interrupt you. Who do you want here? I like Debo here because that's just another guy we're waiting to sign on team based off the other guys
we're
we
not
have here.
taking Gadsden. It's got to be Debo or Trey Harris.
Yeah. Yeah, and I understand Gadsden is falling, but I just don't.
No, we got 2 solid tight ends, and I think we can do the Kolar thing. I think we can do the Theo Johnson thing too if we wanted to at the very end.
It's also a position where you start one guy. So I just don't feel like forcing 3 tight ends this early in the draft is necessary, you know?
Yeah, and we don't have to. I honestly, our 2 tight ends are good, and we can get. You could even say this is a 4 tight end team and take 17th and 18th round picks. You can take 2 tight ends if you really wanted to, with 4 running backs.
I've done that a few times. Do you like doing the 4 tight end?
I like doing the 4 tight ends when you kind of wait and do them all like in the end. You know what I'm saying? Where you just like hammer 3 tight ends, 16, 17, 18 or something like that.
Okay.
But
it's more about the depth at that in that room more than anything when you go 4 tight ends.
And like honestly too, these tight ends, when I look back on like some of my better teams, like they were so tight end driven last year in best ball. Like tight ends were huge in best ball. So, you know, Harold Fannin was a guy I had a ton of. Tucker Kraft, everyone forgets because he got hurt. But like Tucker Kraft was like tight end 1 or 2 until he got hurt.
Yep.
He was absolutely smashing. Jake Ferguson, I had a ton of. He was a great pick. He was going to like the 140s, 150s.
Yep.
So I think it's not a terrible idea, especially when you feel like you're loaded at the other positions, to be like, okay, even though this is a onesie position, I can start 2 guys. And, you know, I didn't take early capital in a tight end. So let me take an extra tight end. And maybe that guy, you know, you're going to have to alternate weeks with some of those back end tight ends. So you're not going to get as much consistency. So maybe that guy's what I need in the advancing weeks, the random guy, like the Charlie Kolar that we take, you know?
Yeah, and Charlie Kolar coming out of college had a really good pass. You know, he was actually a pretty decent pass catcher as well. People know him more.
Stuck behind Andrews and Light.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I getting them for that. I don't know.
And Todd Monken typically likes his 1 tight end. I mean, even going back to Georgia when he had Brock Bowers, like that's his thing, you know. So he was buried.
Yep. Yeah, there just wasn't run for Charlie Kolar at that point.
All right. Our boy might still be on the board here. I feel like it's only right we get him.
Yep.
If we do, and I think you know who that is.
Not trying to jinx it for
I mean, I did the other day on my stream. I actually had a few people in the drafts, and man, there we go. There goes our guy, Adonai Mitchell. Had a few people snipe me, but they were cool about it in the chat too. They knew.
That comes with drafting with the guys, with the crew, you know.
Adonai Mitchell, we haven't even talked about it. We've been saying a lot about he's our guy and stuff like that. I'm not really sold on this Omar Cooper Jr. thing. I know he was good in college, but Adonai Mitchell is such a talented wide receiver. I think people hate on him because of the mistakes that he's made and kind of just like everything, just the stigma that he had going in. But the guy's always getting open. And we're hearing this report right now that him and Geno Smith have a good rapport on the field. I think he's going to shock more people this year than, or at least the folks that were drafting him. We're probably going to get that season from him. All right, who do we like here?
God, this is such a tough range.
I'm okay with like a Greg Dulcich. I know you mentioned Charlie Kolar, but I like Dulcich in this spot here.
We don't really love this range too. That gives us a 3rd tight end. So what do we got? 2 more picks left here. So
Yeah, we are 17 and 18 coming up here.
and how many receivers we have? 7.
7. And it feels like we can still go one more, in my opinion. Like you said, this running back room, no bye weeks to interfere with anything. This feels like a 4 running back team, 2 quarterback team. I feel like we could just go wide receiver and tight end if you wanted to, depending on who's on the board.
Yeah, or we could go 2 wide receivers if you want to go 9.
Exactly. Especially if indeed Malik Neighbors is out, to start the season. And again, going back to Malik Neighbors for 1 second, if we get news that he does start the season, this value we're getting on him, it's gone. Absolutely gone if he's going to start the season.
4th round value just disappears so fast if they say Malik Neighbors is good to go. I mean, he gets into the 2nd probably.
Yeah, 1-2 turn. I think he's going to be right around there. I think some people might be a little hesitant, but the more news you get, he's going to shoot all the way up.
Yeah, now this could obviously work the other way though.
Yeah.
Like it could work where like we get the bad news, and the bad news is, he's on the pup for the first 4 weeks or whatever it is. And maybe he falls a little more, and maybe you just buy the dip. You know what I mean? Like, and
the value's there for sure, even more, because he'll play the games to crush his ADP, wherever that may be.
Whenever he gets back on the field. So
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the game you play in best ball. It's tough because you're kind of like banking on news to go your way. It doesn't always go your way, but if you can kind of read the tea leaves and figure out some of the coach peak and stuff like that, you can sometimes have an idea of like how the ADP is going to shift in your favor. And that's what you want to try and attack when drafting, in my opinion, and going after is like, okay, when is this value going to die? Like, when is Rashid Rice? Like, I knew right when he went to jail, I was like, this is the time to draft Rashid Rice.
Yes.
Like, he's not going to get any lower. He's only going to go higher when he gets out of jail. And he's only 30 days in jail, people. Like, he's going to get out. He's going to get out before training camp. And, of course, he's out. And then, like, what you see, he started to move back up into that 2-3 turn. And I'm like, I knew this was going to happen. Like, that's the way it goes.
We're coming up here. I do have something on that, too. We got Dontavian Wicks, Ted Hurst, Cooper Kupp, Surratt, and Darnell Mooney. Who do you like here for wide receivers?
Darnell Mooney kind of fits our team. I like Surratt as a bet.
I think we might get Mooney on the way back around too, if you want.
For the Ravens, I think I saw Greg Branos, Coach Speak. He does great work. Coach Speak Index. He posted something about them talking up him as a big slot for the Ravens there, Elijah Surratt, where he play like the role of slot receiver. I do think, the Ravens are one of the more interesting teams. They're going to probably play more 11 personnel with them, getting rid of Likely and no Kolar and stuff like that. And then they drafted 2 receivers on top of it, which kind of tells you even more. They probably want more, 11 personnel kind of sets. And Rashad Bateman wasn't as good last year. I don't know. One of these rookies seems like a pretty good bet to me to be pretty good. I've been drafting a little of Lane, of
Jacoby Lane
and Surratt, just kind of alternating them.
We also got Tez Walker over there.
Yeah, they got Tez Walker, who I think's draftable. So
we like Darnell Mooney here.
He fits our team. I mean, I don't want to go crazy and say like I love Darnell Mooney, but
do we like Ted Hurst? I'm cool with Tyquan Thornton too here.
Oh yeah, Tyquan Thornton actually
spike week guy for round 18. Thornton. Yeah.
His average depth per target is insane. It's like insane. The second highest of anyone last year. It's like 26 yards. I mean, he's a deep threat. He's a vertical threat.
And Pat Mahomes likes that.
If Kenny Walker does what we think he's going to do to help that offense, I think it actually directly affects Tyquan Thornton in a good way.
Yeah, it's going to open more up for him.
Hopefully it helps Pat Mahomes and Tyquan connect a little bit more, as long as they don't bring in some vet, which could obviously kill Tyquan's role. But if they don't bring anyone in, I mean, no Hollywood this year. He's going to play.
Yeah. Here, I have a question here. I traded my first, second, third last year, but I have Josh Allen, A.J. Brown, Rasheed Rice, Kenneth Walker, Bucky Irving, and George Kittle as my keeper. Question is, do you keep Brees Hall or Bucky Irving? Redraft keeper league, 12-man, half PPR. I think that's Brees Hall.
Yeah, I think you got to keep Brees. So
Brees has a clear runway over there. That's his team. And they paid him. They kept him. They didn't want to let him go. I was excited. I wanted to see him on another team so bad.
They paid him. I think the Tampa running back room is just, you could see it where all three of these guys have a role, which kind of kills Bucky's upside. And like you said, Brees, they paid him a lot of money. So I know it's a bad team. Bucky's on a little better team in a weaker division and everything like that. But I think you definitely got to go Brees there.
And the Jets also, it's not the team that everyone wants to talk about, but they have a really solid offensive line too. And they have a coach who's going to be fighting to win games. So I think they're going to be leaning on him a little bit more.
That coach stinks.
I know he does. I'm not a fan of him at all. But I do love those narratives where, there's coaches that are fighting to keep their jobs. So they're gonna stick to what works, right? The fundamentals of these games too. I had one thing to mention about Brees Hall since we were just talking about him. The Malik Neighbors bet kind of reminds me of my Brees Hall bet I made years ago when Brees Hall tore his ACL. I was taking him in the 6th round in best balls. I took like about 35% of him, and it worked well. 6th round, obviously 4th round is a little different, but Malik Neighbors' ADP is usually high up there. So I kind of feel like if we're right on Malik Neighbors, because Brees Hall that year, it was like 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, right? Brees Hall went off. He went crazy. And everyone was scared to draft him because he had a ACL tear. So I feel that sometimes kind of goes under the radar, and it kind of helps out.
Yeah, I think the other thing with Brees Hall is you get the advancing rounds are at the Cardinals, Patriots, could be high scoring at home against the Patriots, and then at home against the Vikings. And I do think the Vikings defense probably is a little worse with all their losses that they took with Harrison Smith and who's the D lineman they lost? Was it Grenard?
They lost Jonathan Allen too, who went to Cincinnati.
Jonathan
and they
Allen.
did lose Grenard, who went to Philadelphia, I believe.
Right. So they have a few losses, and I was actually listening to a pod with a couple of their beats, and they were talking about how the Smith loss was was going to be like a big loss for them, just from like a leadership standpoint on top of it. But I'm sure they'll figure it out on defense. They kind of always do over there, but it could be a better matchup than we think.
They got a good DC over there. I hate to admit that as a Bears fan, but they do got a good DC. I mean, that's Brian Flores, who everyone knows his defense is usually up top. I want to review this team real quickly here. JSU, I am so appreciative that you are on. We have Justin Herbert, Jackson Dart at quarterback, Ashton Genty, Kenneth Walker, Bashal Tutin, Jalen Warren for a 4 running back. I feel that's really solid. At wide receiver, we have Ladd McConkey, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, Rashid Shaheed, Jalen Coker, Debo Samuel, Adonai Mitchell, Elijah Surratt, and Tyquan Thornton. Feels like a strong wide receiver room at the back end. And then at tight end, can't feel more comfortable than these 3 guys right here. Harold Frannon, Brenton Strange, and Greg Dulcich. I think this was a really well-balanced team.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. Balanced. Like this team, very balanced, 4 running backs. I actually love the 4 running back teams on Underdog. So it's definitely my style of team. And I like how it kind of shook out at the receiver position with some of our guys that we kind of talked about here. It's definitely a big bet on Malik Neighbors, but I love that we had the courage to push Malik Neighbors to the 4th round and then got him in the 4th round. It's always great
when
you want a guy in the 3rd and
Yes.
you're like, fine, I'll go with this other guy. And then the guy you wanted gets pushed to the 4th round. That's always your favorite drafts. But again, it's going to come down to, does Malik Neighbors start week 1? If he does, this team is really good. Malik Neighbors, 4th round Malik Neighbors is an absolute steal if he plays from the get-go here and he's fully healthy. Like, there's no limitations at all, obviously. If there's limitations, that's going to suck. But if he's full go, man, this team feels good.
This team does feel good. Austin, to answer your question, this was our last draft. I will be on tomorrow night, so make sure to hop on that stream. JSU, where can the people find you?
Yeah, runpuresports.com, all DFS, best ball, everything. We got you guys covered. DraftKings offers it. We got content for it all. Summer League action, World Cup, tennis going on right now. You got MLB, golf, best ball rolling. I do a ton of best ball shows on the Run Pure Sports YouTube channel, so you can check those shows out all throughout the week. I just recorded one with Zach Religious from Legendary Upside before I hopped on with Felix. Here we do that on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. I go on with my guy Felix Castro on Thursday, normally at nighttime, and do a few other streams throughout the week. Sunday, I normally do a high stakes stream over on that channel where we try and draft like a 555 or something like that on DraftKings too. So tons of content all throughout the week. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and check it out.
Yeah, for sure. And make sure to check out that stream tomorrow with our guy Felix Castro. That's going to be a good one. Felix is going to actually be hopping on next month on our channel here as well. So I'm excited to draft with him. But yeah, make sure to check out Run Pure Sports tomorrow, their stream. And I'll probably be hopping on shortly after that stream on my channel here. So make sure you guys come and hang out. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And take care and peace.